Welcome. Thank you so much for all of us being here together. And I've never stood in front of a mic before, so thank you all. I invite Strong Oak to come up here and
stand by the edge so the cars can
Thank you very much.
So we can begin our program with acknowledging that all of us, we're all created, and that we are all created is a different thing. It means it's a verb. Our creation. And but along with us, our creation was the Mother Earth. And when we were here, and why we are here, is to love and care for one another and to be in reciprocal relationship with each other. This means reciprocal relationships with the plants, the animals, the creepy crawlers, the creatures that live in the waters. And today we're most especially here to talk about the waters. Because water is the only thing that sustains life. And all life comes through water. It comes through a woman's womb. First the water breaks and then comes the water. But all the elementals are imperiled when they're out of balance. And the water especially, when you think about what's going on today, there is like a way of not respecting all life. And we're here to talk about that. Because the plants and the beetles and the water, we're all equal to each other, none better than the other. And we're really here today because we have an administration that believes that only one race is superior to all others. We were brought here to recognize that all the peoples of the world are equal. Not only are all the humans equal, but we're equal to the plants and the trees. You could make a case that the water is more important than human beings because without it there is no life whatsoever. And the water from Mother Earth, this is her body, this is her arteries and her veins. And then when we put the water in us, whatever we pollute inside ourselves. We need to make that connection. And we need to understand that all our ancestors have suffered. They're all living in our chromosomes and our DNA. We are all related. And it doesn't matter who we think we are. We are in reciprocal relationship with each other, and I believe that all of us here, we have that sense of love and connection to each other. This is a time in crossroads, so we send our thoughts out for the courage of our ancestors who struggled. Many lost their lives for this struggle. When Columbus came here in 1492, and then he got the mandate from the King and Queen of Spain and from the Pope to go and take all the lands and to treat everything like it was an object, to be misused, and to say that only Christians could own land and to take everything. And right now we have in our country people who actually believe that are in power today. And we need to have the courage of our ancestors to really be on the line and be willing to give ourselves, even in the same way they did, to be willing to give our lives for the water. That we would all have that courage. Some of us, we could stay home and not care about this issue, especially for those of us who are not brown or black. You could stay home in despair and not do anything about this issue. But actually, people who are brown and black don't have that luxury. And, with 74 million people died because of Christopher Columbus, and many people are dying today, and more people are going to die. Some quickly through being killed in the streets, like the young black people that's happening to, and to the brown people too. People are being not allowed into the country now from other countries because they're not Christian, and a lot of people don't even know about our history. So we pray that our ancestors talk with and through us, that they're with us every step of the way, and that what we have to gain is love, care, reciprocity, relationship to the plants and trees, where we may be able to talk to them again. You know, there were amazing things that happened at Standing Rock with the buffalo coming suddenly from the prayers of the people and the eagle that allowed itself to be actually touched. Human beings used to have these connections, and I pray for all of us that we have those beautiful connections with the land, that we see in each other's sacredness, and that we teach to the young ones the beauty of nature and the beauty of water. Water communicates. If you go to any place and you sit by a stream, you will hear all the voices of the water. And then the water, is all impacted by the moons, which also impacts the fluid in our own bodies. So when we begin to see our connection to all things, we could be happy. And so we pray too for those people who are in a state of greed and hunger that can never be sated. For those people who have to live with taking everything from everyone and leaving the rest of the world in want, and to treat everything like an object is not to be in love with it, not to understand its beauty, not to be impacted. So I think we have a lot of work to do, and I think we can do it. I think that we're coming together now in ways that we never did before. So I pray that we walk together, that we learn to talk with people who seem far from what we believe, be willing to have those painful conversations, and to trust that what we say will take a seed that's planted in every heart, so that we can walk in beauty, live in beauty, see the beauty above us, below us, in front of us, and behind us, and to the left and right of us, that every single step be an honor to all the plants and animals, and to the water, and to the air that we breathe, to the fire that transforms us and lives in our belly, and to the ancestors who teach us the wisdom and taught us how to live here on Mother Earth. So may we have a wonderful, day today in terms of connecting with each other, and have our prayers really go to all those who have been putting their lives on the line at Standing Rock.
Okay, now to move around, please, we're going to have a little bit of music, of beautiful music, and feel free to move and get some inner heat going.
That is so
Thank you.
This is fantastic. I didn't expect to see this many faces out here in the cold. You're all brave, brave people. So thanks for coming. I'd like to talk to you today about the state that we're in. Of course, this rally is for the Dakota Access Pipeline and protecting water. But what about Massachusetts? Massachusetts, for all its history, has been a rich mix of natural habitats, from the coast and its tidal marshes to the inland rivers and wetlands and lakes, and the rich agricultural stream along the Connecticut River Valley to the rugged forested hills. But even now, after hundreds of years of colonization, and what our culture dubiously defines as development, it holds the distinction of being first in the nation in energy efficiency, the third most densely populated state in the country, while still being the 8th most forested. This distinction is under threat from development, of course, in the name of multiple energy projects that are proven by multiple studies, like the Attorney General's study and other analysts, to show that this energy is not needed, but it's putting our forests at risk. There's another aspect of Massachusetts that's also under threat. Cultural cornerstones of our state's first peoples. Ancient ceremonial stone landscapes are under threat from yet another pipeline that's right here in our own backyard. Kinder Morgan's Connecticut Expansion Pipeline Project has a segment that's planned to run through Otis State Forest in Sandusfield, Mass. And aside from devastation of opening up an even wider pipeline corridor through its supposedly protected land, this project would disturb or destroy over 20 ancient sites. With the same disregard for native cultures shown by the builders of DAPL, Kinder Morgan's Tennessee Gas Pipeline claims to have taken the required steps in the project development process, having undertaken a survey of these sites conducted by the tribes under consideration. But the tribes were not involved early enough in the project. The site was only surveyed for ceremonial stone landscapes only after the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, or FERC, had approved the project. So when it came time to take them under consideration, Kinder Morgan said, well, yes, you've identified 73 different sites in the project pathway, but we can't avoid disturbing or destroying over 20 of them because the pipeline is already approved. And we are sending comments to FERC. A lot of people have stood up and sent comments to FERC, and there's actually a yellow paper being circulated around the group with instructions on how to do that. We need everyone to comment that FERC should not allow this pipeline project to go forward. Right now, Kinder Morgan is pressing for trees to be cut. Hopefully they want to finish cutting by the end of this month, and FERC has not yet granted them that permission. We don't want them to move ahead until these ceremonial stone landscapes are addressed properly. Issuing the permit before this Issuing the permit for this project before these surveys were taken is actually in violation of the National Historic Preservation Act. So we want people to make that comment. We also want people to talk to Elizabeth Warren, Ed Markey, and your congressman. Everyone should talk to Richie Neal, even if he's not your congressman. And if you're under McGovern, definitely contact his office and ask them to also comment to FERC that this project should not be allowed to move forward until everything has been taken under consideration, and especially these ceremonial stone landscapes that are under threat by this pipeline. If you need more information, Frac Gas and Mass is having some technical issues right now, but you can go to tiny URL save MA for Massachusetts Native Sites and get more information on how to comment. Thank you very much. And we actually are now, BEAT and No Frac Gas and Mass are starting to take donations to help with the legal fight for these ceremonial stone landscapes. So if you want to donate, you can go to No Frac Gas and Mass website. The donate button is working just fine. Or you can see me on how to write out a check. Thank you very much.
I believe David Detmold is here, and maybe other people too who were actually in DC yesterday. David, are you around? Okay. Oh, he's making his way up here. Yeah. Okay. So this is happening, well, for many reasons, but I went on the website about Standing Rock, and they talked about the gathering down in DC this past week and yesterday, and I knew I couldn't go, but one of the things they said is, if you can't come, then gather in your own towns, villages, hamlets, and cities. So I called up Mary McClintock, because she helped bring all the women and families together here a month ago, and she said, get a permit. So I got a permit, and now here we are. And David was down in DC, so... Daniel was down in
Hello. Hi. This is Daniel. Daniel was among the people from Franklin County who went down to Washington, D.C., leaving Thursday night. Jean Hebden and her grandson, Gabe. We have a good picture of Gabe reading the Montague Reporter in front of the White House while the Buddhists from the Peace Pagoda were chanting. It had been snowing and raining all morning, and when the Buddhists from the Peace Pagoda began chanting from Leverett and banging the drum, the sun came out for the first time right over the White House. Before I say a few words about what it was like to be there, what a great honor it was to be among the largest gathering of native peoples on this continent in history, according to them, yesterday, I would like to ask you, if you would, to allow us to pass the hat to help us pay for some of the costs associated with organizing not just this demonstration, but a number of support rallies at TD Bank's in Woodstock, Vermont yesterday at 4 o'clock, at Montpelier's TD Bank yesterday at noon. There was a support rally at the Concord State House as well, and the UVM students in Burlington will be walking from the Waterman Building on March 22nd at 7:30 p.m. down to the waterfront in Burlington, and they want you all to let your friends in Vermont know to come march with them for the water on March 22nd. So we're going to pass the hat to support a lot of the organizing efforts that are going on in New England right now. If you would give us a few dollars, we're in debt at the moment. Okay, and we're not going to spend a lot more time with words right now. If people could just gather their minds and hearts together and think about what it means to, you know, the teenage girls at Standing Rock were the ones who began this last year, right around April, and they had lost so many of their teenage friends to suicide at Standing Rock that they were just done with it, and they decided to take action. And they were the ones who initiated the action that has led to almost a full year now of holding the line against one of the most militarized police force responses anywhere in this country right now, against the Indigenous people who have been protecting their water rights and our water rights to be able to drink clean water, breathe clean air, and have clean land to grow our organic crops on again, okay? This is what we're all thinking about when we say we support Standing Rock. We're supporting them to hold the line against the corporate polluters and the corporate rapists who have been raping Mother Earth for too long, and now we need to say to them, this must stop, okay? So yesterday when we got there to Washington, D.C., I want to tell you that there were dance troops from Central or South America. There were Native people from Canada joining Native people from all across this country, and there were a lot of white and other allies there as well. And one of the first places they gathered before the march was at the Army Corps of Engineers building, whatever it's called, Land and Resources or something. And they were in front of that huge building, and all the office staff workers started coming to the windows to see what they wanted. And one person on a bullhorn went up from one side of the crowd to the other as the crowd grew larger and larger. And from behind them, he yelled up to them, you know, send us out your generals, send us out your majors, send us out your captains. Have you no honor? Why won't you honor the treaties that you made with the Sioux, that Crazy Horse and others forced you to sign with them in the 1850s? And he cited both treaties that guaranteed them the rights to their land and water. You know, these are treaties of the land. Look at the Constitution. They need to be enforced. So he yelled up to the people in the windows to please come out and talk with us, and they refused to come out and talk with us. So then they marched. We all marched together. We marched a mile all around all these huge buildings and edifices. And as I said, when we finally got to the White House, that's when people gathered in prayer. Demands were made to the so-called new administration. And, you know, I can't tell you what those demands were. You're going to have to go find out for yourself, because I didn't hear that part. But what I did hear was the chanting of the Buddhists. And I think I'll just leave you with the feeling and the thought and the vibration as they chanted Nam Myoho Renge Kyo over and over again, beating the drums. And native medicine people were dancing, and there were fancy dancers step dancing, and everybody gathered in a good circle. And we're here now to support that same prayer energy and that same strong demand that we protect Mother Earth. And from now on, and we've got to tell the TD Bank people to divest from that. That's the best thing we can do in New England. Okay, get our banks out of that. Okay, thank you. Free Mummy and free Leonard.
And on that lead-in,
Hi there.
Hello.
Everybody here say, water is life.
Water is life.
How do we get there? We get there by pulling the money out of the industry. Let's say that. We get there by pulling the money out of the industry. Boycott is our word. Boycott is our word. Right across the street is number 2 investor in DAPL. We boycott that bank. We boycott TD Bank. We boycott TD Bank. They're not only a $365 million investor in DAPL, they invest in fracking. They invest in anything fossil fuel. Fossil fuel is over. Over and out. We pull the money out of the industry. Not only TD Bank, Bank of America, there's a whole list. 17 banks invested in this industry. No matter what Trump does, if they don't have the money from these banks, they're over and out of our lives. We've got to go after the industry, not just one pipeline, not just 2 pipelines, not just one fracking field or 2 fracking fields. We need to stop the entire industry. These buttons, I've been walking around selling these little fossil fuel buttons / fossil fuel, are very powerful tools. Wear your buttons wherever you go. Wear your buttons. Have a pocket full of these buttons, 2 for $1, you know. It really does a good job of advertising our issue. People say, oh, what's wrong with fossil fuels? You start talking. Divest, boycott TD Bank, you start talking. We need everybody to understand these banks are not benign. They're not what we think they are, just banks in our community. They're big time players in the fossil fuel industry. What do we want to do? Stop the fossil fuel industry. So I've got these flyers here. They're good talking points. If you haven't gotten one, I'll walk around and hand them out again. And they're really good for letters to the editor. People read the letters to, this is all free. We can use our letters to the editor wherever we live. So get to work. When we first started on the NED pipeline, our representative Jim McGovern came around and he said to us, we can win this, but it's going to be hard work. We know how to work hard. We can do it. We've done it. Do it again. Thank you very much.
Do you want to move again or another speaker? Move? Okay, move. Yeah. Same water.
Start the 5 like whatever. You got the first one?
Just get that blood going again. And while we're doing that, we can think of our feet. They're touching our Mother the Earth with our love through our feet. You can wave your hands up into the sky. It gives us so much. And look around into each other's eyes if you're brave. I was always shy, but you're still here. Let your heart connect to all that is, and keep us all warm. And very shortly we'll have some more words of inspiration, something that everyone can do. And I think maybe you can talk right over the music. You want to? What do you feel?
Dance.
It's whatever you feel.
Dance.
Okay.
So my name's Alice, and my native name is Heyoka, and I'm Dakota. I'm non-tribal. My family left the reservation. But some of us waited all our lives for Standing Rock. And some of us waited all our lives for Standing Rock. And I have my twin sister came from Israel to go to Standing Rock. I had nephews arrested. And you don't have to go there to be a part of what's happening. You just have to connect. You just have to learn that water is sacred and we depend upon it and we're related to it. And to say thank you when you take a shower. Go in and say thank you. It's that simple. Just start connecting with the water. Start expecting that you can have a relationship with the water. And it grows from there. There's water all over the place and ceremony happens, but it's from our hearts. It's about connecting to the water and just saying thank you. Just acknowledging it as part of our lives and our values. And when we expand our circle of what we relate to, that's what it's about. It's about connecting. So whenever I take a shower, I simply say thank you. I go in and I say, cleanse me, thank you. And just make it a part of your life. And it doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be led by a medicine person. It's just people going out and connecting with the water that's connected to them every day. It doesn't have to be something over there that's separate from our lives. So I just wanted to say that. Just, it's that easy.
Keep moving, keep it warm, and I'm inviting Strong Oak to come back here and share some more wonderful work.
I'm actually lifting up the words of Sharon Alford, who couldn't be here today, but she left these words. She said, and I also, and Vision Fair is also represented in Racial Justice Rising. We co-sponsor a vigil here every Saturday. Some of you may have already been there, and to you who have also been there this morning, I say, wow, because it's so cold. So I'm part of Racial Justice Rising, based right here in Greenfield. Current projects include, the mission is to eradicate racism in all its forms in our community and to learn how to live with one another in a good way. We all know that systemic and personal acts of hatred and intolerance are likely to increase dramatically in the weeks and years to come. We urge everyone to join the movement for racial justice, organizing, learning, growing our community of resistance here, at home, and beyond. Locally, every Saturday morning from 9 to 10, Racial Justice Rising is here on the Common at a vigil for racial justice. It gives us an opportunity for community building and conversations. We hope that you will come and stand with us. We offer a free educational program on the first Saturday morning of most months. Please come. On Saturday, April 1st, our program will be about, is there really racial justice in the legal system? And that is Buzz Eisenberg who will be giving that presentation. We also connect with people far outside our area via our website, Facebook page, and an e-newsletter. If your passion for justice is similar to ours, come talk to the folks at Racial Justice Rising. We have handouts with more information, or connect with us via our website, racialjusticerising.org. Thank you. Thank you.
And Susan Taberge is going to come up here shortly and talk about more water and land protection from the Sugar Shack Alliance. And I just want to say one more thing. We have to support with our funds to the Native Nations to do all the court cases. They're very expensive. So we need to share in reciprocity from these communities back to the Native communities. And Susan here.
Hi there. I bring greetings from the Sugar Shack Alliance, our nonviolent direct action, hundreds and hundreds of people who are ready to protect our land. Also from Climate Action Now. And the purpose of Climate Action Now is to build the only thing that's really going to save us, a powerful, unstoppable, gigantic movement of resistance and struggle for climate justice. Along with our sister organization, the Springfield Climate Justice Coalition. So, yeah, 3 amazing organizations that are, basically, our hope lies in our unity and our strength and our organizing and being out on the streets. And it's great to see y'all here today. So this is going to be quick and get to the heart of things. We know that climate issues are social justice issues, and the people that are on the front lines are the people that have done the least to contribute to the climate chaos that's surrounding us and growing, and yet they're bearing the greatest brunt of it. And so, truly, the movement for climate justice is a movement that is so tied to what's happening at Standing Rock. We've been so inspired. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I just wanted to
Okay.
pull it out.
Oh, okay. Can I just pull it out? Or do you want to keep it in? Oh, okay. So, we are honored to be here today in solidarity with our Indigenous brothers and sisters who have been such an inspiration. I've seen a real change in our events and our comings together, a deepening infusion of spiritual energy. It's been a really beautiful thing to see, and it's been very inspired by Standing Rock. I want to say that this needs to be a spring where we're out on the streets constantly. And on April 29th, how many people here went to this First Peoples Climate Justice March in New York? Right. So we're going to have there's going to be another one in Washington, D.C., and Climate Action Now is working on buses. But we want to have a local event. And so on Springfield on April 29th, we're hoping to have a completely gigantic Western Massachusetts march and action. So stay tuned. There'll be lots of social media and words about that. But April 29th. So the last thing I want to say is that we're really here not just for ourselves, but for the coming generation. And I'd like to introduce Nina, who I work with closely in Sugar Shack and Climate Action Now. She's going to say a word, and then we're just going to close it out. Nina.
Hi. I'm just here to say to all of the young people who are getting involved, I don't see somebody here, so bring your children, your grandchildren, your nephews, your nieces. This is our future. And so now is the time to come to action, and we have so many great role models. We're seeing at Standing Rock, we're seeing in the organizers right here. So we have these great role models, and we can bring our energy to this and help gather their wisdom and keep fighting for all of this good work.
So, thank you, Nina. So, honor life, honor resistance, honor love. Everybody, honor life, honor resistance, honor love. Thank you.
Iote going da wanna ho. Iote going da wanna ho. Iote going da wanna ho. Ianane hene no way. Wichita, give me round, go runny, go runny. Wichita, give me round, go runny, go runny. Go runny, go runny, go runny, go runny. Wichita, give me round, go runny, go runny.
take the